Hello, welcome to Children's Orthopedic Series, Taking Kid Stuff Seriously. Clubfoot can be a really worrying condition, especially for new parents, but actually, with modern treatment, the outlook's really good. Let's explain. Hello, I'm Gavin Spence, Children's Orthopedic Surgeon, originally from London, now working at Burjeel Hospital for Advanced Surgery in Dubai. Welcome to this video, which is part of the Children's Orthopedic Series. I'm here every week discussing conditions that people find confusing or are just looking for more information about. If you have a suggestion for a topic you'd like us to include in this series, then please comment and let us know. We'd love to hear from you. You'll find a link to all of our videos as well as loads more information on these conditions on our website. There's a link in the description below. So clubfoot is the commonest congenital condition that we treat, and it has very typical appearances with the foot curled in. Sometimes it occurs on both sides. And it may surprise you to know that although it is such a common condition, we still don't really know what causes it. There's a lot of theory to do with abnormalities of blood supply and nerve supply, perhaps something unusual about the way particular bones and joints develop. But the truth is we don't really know. And part of the problem is picking apart what is cause from what is effect in this condition. But what we are agreed on is when treatment should start, and that's pretty much straight away, so in very young children. And that marks quite a big change from when I started my training. Back then, children with clubfoot were treated with quite extensive operations, and the only debate really was about when that should be, 3 months, 6 months, or closer to a year. But all of that changed with the work of Dr. Ponseti, working in Iowa in the United States, who showed that it was possible to take advantage of the fact that children's feet are flexible and pliable, and that they could be corrected not with operations, but with plaster casts, changed every week to gradually change the deformity. So the story of how Ponseti came up with that technique and the struggle that he had to get it accepted in the surgical community as a whole is a fascinating one, maybe one for another video at some point. But for now, the important point is what he showed was that his results were not equivalent to operations, they were actually better in the long term. So that was a real game changer for us. And that was using simple technology, plaster of Paris. It's been around for hundreds of years. Of course, there was nothing simple about the technique itself. Ponseti was very specific about how the correction should be done and in what order you needed to do things. And you can imagine you need a bit of experience too. Putting a plaster cast on an infant is not a straightforward thing to do. But nevertheless, after about 5 or 6 weeks of changing casts, the feet are in a much better position. But there's one aspect of the deformity that the casts can't change, and that's the tight Achilles tendon at the back of the heel. For that, most children actually do require an operation. But here's the good news, with the Ponseti's method, that can be done using keyhole techniques, through a small incision just a few millimeters long, and often under local anaesthetic actually, rather than a full general anaesthetic. So by the time that is done, the feet are normally much better corrected, and it's a question of keeping them there. So once the casting has finished, we prescribe a particular type of splint called boots and bars, which the children wear initially full time, and then once they get up and around and walking, they tend to wear it just at night time at naps. But it is important that they continue to wear that for a number of years, because we know that increases the chance of keeping the deformity from coming back. So those are the basic principles of the Ponseti method. It's very effective treatment used throughout the world, and it's certainly our approach here in Burjeel. Does it work for every child? Well, no. There are exceptions, of course. And these are usually in children who have clubfoot associated with some other medical condition. So for those children, sometimes those good old-fashioned operations are required, and we have a wide variety to choose from. What we choose really depends on the age of the child, particular problem that they have, and any previous treatment that they might have had. So whether with operations or with casting, in fact, in clubfoot, it's never possible to make the foot completely normal. What we're aiming for is a foot that is pain-free, flexible, functional, goes flat on the ground, and importantly, one in which they can wear a normal shoe that they get from a shoe shop, because no kid really wants to go to school wearing a surgical shoe. So that's all on clubfoot, and that's all for this week. If you have any questions arising from topics raised in this video, please put them in the comments. I'll respond as soon as I can. If you found the video helpful, please hit that like button, share it with anybody else you think might be interested, and subscribe to our channel. And I'll be back next week with another episode in the Children's Orthopedic Series, taking kid stuff seriously.